My name is Victor Anguiano Mendez. This is for one of my classes. Today we're going to be talking about Federalism overview. We're going to start with the Supremacy Clause. So it's found in Article 6, Clause 2 in the U.S. Constitution. So in my own words, it establishes that the feds rules over the state law. So when you think about marijuana being legal in California but being illegal federally, that's what I'm talking about. Moving on to concurrent powers. These are powers that are shared both by the feds and the state. Some examples are taxation, borrowing money, law enforcement, etc. So this matters because it encourages cooperation and it shows that states can kind of run themselves and don't really need less federal oversight, which is something we probably all want. This kind of goes right into the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment states that powers not delegated to the feds are to be delegated to the states or the people. Kind of gives us a state of sovereignty. Think Texas. Like I said, this kind of ties back into what we talked about earlier, which it reinstates state sovereignty, limits federal overreach, and in a sense, it creates a happy balance. Moving on, what is federalism? So federalism is a system that divides power from the states and the feds. How does this system compare to other systems? Other systems like the unitary and confederal. So the unitary, it's the feds have more power than the state, and the other one is the state has more power than the feds. So we kind of want that perfect balance. A benefit of federalism is it allows states to kind of impose their own laws, be a little bit more sovereign, and think of again like weed being legal in California. It's legal in the state, but it's not legal federally. Obviously, some contradicting things is it creates somewhat of an imbalance. So if you work for a federal job in California, although it's legal in your state to smoke weed, it's not legal in the feds. So thus, you can't do it because it's illegal federally. Moving on to modern federalism, more specifically, school desegregation. Case of Brown versus the Board of Education that happened in 1954. Federal stance was that we should desegregate schools, and a lot of states did not like that, especially in the South. Their stance was to not desegregate schools. They wanted to have white and black only schools. Obviously, this didn't sway in the favor of states. The feds won, and this caused schools to not be segregated, which I think is good. Moving on to the Affordable Care Act in 2012. The case was NFIB versus Sebulus. So in this one, the feds and the states kind of had opposing views. Ultimately, we ended up passing Medicaid, and a lot of the states got what they wanted. Personally, what do I feel about federalism? I think that it needs to be a perfect balance, kind of how we mentioned. Feds need to be able to control civil rights, national defense. It's obviously very important. Not every state could handle that by themselves. And interstate commerce. States, in my opinion, should be held to a different standard. They should be more so in charge of education, benefits, healthcare, and infrastructure. My ideal balance is a 60-40 split, 60 feds and 40 states. Kind of let states operate independently for the most part, but if they start kind of getting out of whack, like, I'm sorry, but California and some of its taxation policies, the Fed should kind of step in and help, help handle that. I think how many of our taxpayer funds are going to projects that we don't even see work? So 60-40 split.